If you're in America or England or most countries, you think of a government running a budget deficit, of hiring people, of buying goods and services, mainly military goods or arms, but you think of the government buying things and things that employ labor to produce. But that's not the kind of budget deficit the whole world has seen since 2008. You have the government not spending money on the real economy, but giving money to the banks and bailing them out. So all this extra money, this trillion-dollar bailout fund that Europe is doing, is giving it to the 1%, to the financial sector, to the bankers, and now they say our financial system is screwed up so badly that we have to cut welfare, cut pensions, cut medical care, cut social spending to take money from the 99% to give to the 1%, and they pretend that this is natural evolution, not a rollback towards the kind of world we had 500 years ago when they used to call it feudalism and oligarchy.
They're taking on their deficits. They're expanding the deficits, but in the worst possible way. They're not doing it to expand growth in a way that's normally associated with a deficit expansion. They're simply absorbing a lot of toxic debts, and they're working hand in hand with the bankers who are getting a privileged seat at the table, and the austerity measures are the result, but not from any sound economic policy, just because they end up with the leftovers.
There's really not a vocabulary even to discuss what's happening. People think of running a deficit as spending more than you have, but what they're doing in the European Central Bank is printing money, not spending it, printing IOUs, printing debt, and giving it to the bank. So it's a whole giveaway. Now, they could have printed money and given it to the 99%. But they're saying, we're under the Constitution of the European Union. We are only allowed to print money and give it to the 1%, to the banks. We're not allowed to create money for government spending, like America printing its greenbacks in the Civil War. We're only allowed to print money to give to the banks and to spend in the financial market, to buy bonds, to make sure that the banks of Europe can borrow from us at 1%, and buy high-yielding bonds at 8% and make a lot of money. That's what they call entrepreneurialism. It's an amazing ripoff, and what is most surprising is that in Germany, the social democratic parties and the Green parties, nobody's criticizing this. It's as if, I found out in Germany, they've stopped teaching the history of economic thought. They've stopped teaching German history. So when the Bundesbank says no, there is no alternative, what they're saying is, we will make sure that nowhere in the curriculum does any European student get to know that there are many alternatives. If we can only narrow the educational process, we can make people think there isn't any alternative but to take from the 99% and to give to the 1%. And that's why Europe is in trouble. It's why America is in trouble doing the same thing under the Obama administration. And it's making Europe and America look like Latin America used to look like when the International Monetary Fund came in and said, you need an austerity program because we're representing our constituency, the 1%.